I, Kenneth Milimo, do swear that the information I shall give before this Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence, and Foreign Relations on the matter under its consideration shall be the truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Proceed and verify his documents. This process, Mr. Nganga, is procedural and constitutional. Article 124A of the Constitution provides that when a House of Parliament considers any appointment for which its approval is required under the Constitution or an Act of Parliament, the appointment shall be considered by a committee of the relevant House. The Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence, and Foreign Relations is established pursuant to Article 1241 of the Constitution and the National Assembly Standing Order 216. The National Assembly Standing Order 216 spells out the mandate of the Departmental Committee, which includes to vet and report all appointments where the Constitution or any law requires the National Assembly to approve. Further, the second schedule of the standing orders allocate the committee, among others, to oversight, foreign relations, diplomatic and consular service, and international relations. The purpose of this vetting is to ascertain your suitability, Mr. Kenneth Nganga, to discharge the responsibility of an ambassador. Very briefly, Mr. Kenneth Milimo Nganga, can we know who you are, brief history of yourself, your professional and academic qualifications?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. My name is Kenneth Milimo Nganga. I am 55 years old, born and bred in Western part of Kenya. Therefore, I'm a Kenyan nationality. Mr. Chairman, I come from a family of 15 siblings. I am married with children. I'm a career teacher, but before the President nominated me, His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya, Honorable Dr. William Ruto, nominated me for consideration of this committee to be an ambassador in Abu Dhabi. I was working with the Kenya National Union of Teachers as the Executive Secretary Bungoma South and also member of the National Executive Council. Briefly, that's who I am, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. That is brief in the strict sense of the word. I'll ask you these few questions. Have you complied with the tax obligation to the state? That's KRA clearance certificate.
Yes, sir.
Clearance from the DCI.
Yes, sir.
Clearance from the Office of Registrar of Political Parties.
Precisely.
Clearance from the Higher Education Loans Board.
Yes, sir.
Clearance from the ESCC.
Yes, sir.
Have you complied with the clearance from, have you ever been charged in a court of law or convicted?
Not at all.
Have you ever been adversely mentioned in an investigatory or parliamentary report?
Nowhere.
Dual citizenship do you hold?
Kenyan.
What's your financial net worth?
As a teacher, Mr. Chairman, you understand how it is in Kenya, but briefly, I think I'm worth 13 million only, and they are in immovable items. That means I have about 4.5 acres of land, which today, where I come from, it goes at 1.2 million shillings. I also have a small home that if I sold today, it will go at 3.5. I have undeveloped plot in town, Bungoma, which if I put it to market value now, it will cost me about 3 million. Then, of course, I have a few animals. If I decided to dispense of them, they'll give me something close to 5. Then I have a small car. If I had problems and I wanted to sell it, it'll give me about 600,000. Briefly, that's where I am.
What is your net worth?
About 13 million.
Excellent. So I will then allow my colleagues to ask you a few questions, because evidently you've been a teacher, but we are looking for a diplomat.
Yes, sir.
You've equally been a politician.
Yes.
But we are looking for a diplomat.
Things
Do
change,
you qualify to be a diplomat? So I will allow my colleagues to ask you a few questions, Honorable Abdikadir, and then Honorable Kandi. You'll take the 2 questions. You will respond to them. You might want to mute your mic as you take the questions and turn it on when you're responding to the questions.
Okay. Thank you, Chairman. Karibu nominee. My name is Abdikadir Mohammed, Member of Parliament, Agdera Constituency. The question I have for you is that you have been a teacher all through, and it seems you have never ventured outside Bungoma County. You have never even outside Bungoma County, even nationally. Then what do you don't have experience in diplomacy, experience in any other thing dealing with people? How will you handle this big task of being ambassador to United Arab, to Abu Dhabi, with that kind of experience?
Mr. Chairman.
Hang on. We just take the other questions, so you respond to the 2 of them.
Okay, thank you, Chairman. I want first of all to congratulate the nominee for the job he's been given to be our ambassador in Abu Dhabi, UAE. Number 1, I happen to have been a very serious businessman, international businessman. I have traveled all over the world. I have made money in very many countries, especially Germany, USA, Italy, Japan. And in 2021, I went to UAE for an international exhibition. This is the first time I lost money. What will you do? Because what I found out there, that there is a very serious discrimination from the inhabitants, the Arabs, the foreigners who are there, the Indians, the Pakistanis, tend to discriminate against the Africans. And if you go there as a businessman, you will first of all be told, no, these products you can't import yourself. So I am asking you, since we have gotten that you are a teacher, how will you navigate those issues in UAE? Number 2, I wanted to hear from you, what will you give to our Kenyans who steal our money and go and deposit in UAE? Or even those ones who make genuine money, what will you advise them in order for them to invest that money in Kenya rather than taking to UAE and putting in accounts in UAE?
You may respond, Mr. Milima.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. First of all, I want to put it categorically that I'm not a local. Your Honorable Chair, I have traveled also outside this country. I've been to Uganda, I've been to Rwanda not once, and I've been exposed to many other trade fairs and conferences of teachers, even in Tanzania. Now, on going to UAE as an ambassador, I'll not look like a lame duck, because I know how to communicate, and it would simply mean I look for the right people and the personnel, and I'm already aware that we have the experts, technocrats, who are working in the Kenyan embassy. So they will even guide me. And having worked in civil service for a period of 34 years now, Bwana Chairman, I think I have enough experience to navigate my way in the UAE. Mheshimiwa asked me a question about he lost money during an exhibition. I would advise that before you go to such like exhibitions, you find the true people, like the ambassador or the consul general, and any other technocrat within the Kenyan embassy to be able to guide you so that you don't lose your money. Because if you go it alone, you may not know the nitty-gritty matters affecting you. Then at the end of the day, you lose it out. The Kenyans...
What are you saying, Ndubakandi?
To inform the nominee that I used the normal procedure of dealing with the Kenya government. But the Kenya government, the ambassador there, were not even aware of how the businesses are done there. And I was the only one who broke the system there and managed to export the goods to UAE.
I think he's trying to respond, Dr. Bakandi. Please proceed.
Yes, I'm saying, Bwana Chairman, that when you follow the right channels, you could be a Kenyan, yes, of big magnitude with money, but when you get into a foreign country, you need to look at the people who are there, who have the experience of being in that country, so that they expose you to the scenario that there is. In an effort that you had not invited or put to the attention of the ambassador of UAE, then there will be little we can do. But again, we can move as a team of Kenya to make complaints to the UAE for having lost out your money. And finally, Kenyans living in the diaspora, we want to encourage them to come and join us in the development agenda of our country. So we will not wish that those people who make good money in this country stash the money into foreign accounts. We would urge Parliament, through the necessary ministry legal framework, to make sure that all these monies are within the precincts of Kenya for the development of the people of Kenya and the country in general. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Wangari, introduce yourself, and Honorable Kwenya, you will also introduce yourself. But Honorable Wangari, introduce yourself and ask your question.
Thank you, Chair.
And you might also mention to the candidate that you just flew in from UAE.
Actually, thank you, Chair. My name is Martha Wangari. I'm the MP for Gilgil, Nakuru County, and a member of this committee. Apologies for coming in late. As you say, Chair, I've just actually landed from UAE myself in the morning. So I have very serious interest in the responses being given by our nominee for today. And my first question, Chair, is that you see he's already talking like he's already the ambassador, you know, that he is the ambassador. You have to, actually the response to Honorable Kandi, I think needed to have been handled better. But my question is on foreign labor market, because UAE has been a source of opportunities for our country. The President has gone there. The National Chamber of Commerce has gone there, has signed even a memorandum and agreements with the UAE, with the Dubai, specifically Chamber of Commerce, same to Abu Dhabi. What do you think you will do, if approved by Parliament, to change the balance of these foreign workers, specifically the issue of sexual exploitation for women? Because I think this is one of the issues that is a thorn. We have had a lot of lip service about it, but when it happens, no step is ever taken, and no action is ever taken. What do you think needs to be done?
Chair, I want to join my colleague, bring my apology for coming in late. I had an engagement that took quite a while. Well, allow me just to indulge the nominee. I see he's a career teacher, and he's been involved in a Kenya National Union of Teachers movement, where the welfare of teachers. And I think what we're looking for is an ambassador, someone who is going to champion the interest of our country. And there's something that he said that caught my attention, Chair, that I would really want to further from where my colleague has just left on the issue of labor market. I heard you say that you wish that Kenyans come back and develop our country, those that are in the diaspora. Yet we're in an era whereby we are training to export. We want to export human resource. Is that not in contradiction of the government policy? Because as it is now, we are not telling people to come back, or we are telling them that we have enough, we can export.
Is that it?
Indeed.
Okay, you may respond.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I want to begin with the last question. I do not mean that we are going to ask Kenyans who are in the diaspora to come back home, that we involve them in the national development agenda. We carry out statistics and get to know what is it they know, the expertise, the professionalism they carry out there, and then we tell them, now you are a good technical man, what can you help our country to develop further than being out here, and bringing money alone will not solve the problem. That's what I meant, Chairman. Number two, UAE has quite a number of Kenyans working there in terms of human resource, and quite a number of them, not only in the UAE, but even with the neighboring states, have had to undergo trauma. And in my experience as a negotiator within the teaching movement, we would want to involve, if that is, I'm passed through this parliament and the president appoints me, we will look at ways and means on how to resolve matters that have been hidden quite a long time ago. It's because some people hide, others come out in public, but they don't get proper solutions, particularly the ladies who are exploited sexually. We will not condone that. We will engage, God willing, if I will be there, we will engage the necessary offices within UAE to make sure that we resolve this matter once and for all. We do not want to just sit back and look at people exploiting us. Like I've said, when a chairman, I'm a career teacher, but also we have been dealing with crisis, distress calls. So it is an opportunity for me to expand it. Thank you, Chair. And when it comes to treaties, I have not done research, Madam Mheshimiwa, but I know treaties sometimes go under the desk, or they are, on the flats, and nothing happens. It catches lots of, can I say sand or dust? Dust is better. Yeah, it catches dust, but no more follow-ups. Because look at when governments change. Different presidents come with different approaches to issues, particularly with these treaties. So perhaps what we need to do is, if approved, we make a follow-up on the same and activate them. Thank you, Chair.
Are you satisfied, Wangari? You didn't seem...
No, I'm not satisfied, but I think I'll take it. But I think just even for future endeavors, it's good to do some basic homework. I think this Chamber of Commerce agreements were in the newspapers, they were in the media. It's something someone can easily pick up. And I would expect that the nominee would actually commit to continue to implement. Because the problems we have been having is that when someone new comes, you say a new government has come in, but the mission has been there. Government is perpetual. There are things that have already been agreed, so you don't reinvent. So I would expect that this implementation is taken up immediately. But for now, I'll rest.
Chair, I would want to hear from the nominee how he's going to transist or to transform from an activist, because Kenya Union of Teachers, I mean, these are some level of activism. I mean, they're more of activists fighting for their rights in terms of remuneration and all. From an activist to a diplomat in one of our most coveted embassies. I want to hear that from the nominee chair.
I want to agree with you, Honorable Kwenya. In fact, when Mr. Milimo was introducing himself, he actually said teachers are not properly remunerated. He's almost using this platform to. You need to transition from being a union politician to being a diplomat. And many times as a diplomat, you are the ones who is helping in firefighting, and demeanor and attitude must be that of a diplomat. But understandably, I mean, we are still vetting you. We have not approved you yet, but you're still a union, our NAT Bungoma branch secretary. So I think it is still running in your blood. But nonetheless, I understand what the Kwenya is saying. In less than 5 minutes, Mr. Kenneth Milimo Nganga, why should we send you to Abu Dhabi?
If this House passes me to go to Abu Dhabi in UAE, then definitely I must, and I have no alternative. I must be a negotiator and not an agitator anymore. I have to learn the tricks of the world, and I have to become a better person than I was. And I am available because I'm sure if the House will pass me, then definitely I'll go undergo some training, which I'll take very positively for future posterity, Bwana Chairman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kenneth Milimo Nganga. We wish you all the best. This committee will be retreating at the end of this week to ascertain your suitability as our next diplomat to the UAE Abu Dhabi. All the best and have a good morning.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody.
More radio, 88.2 FM. We are in charge. More radio, 88.2 FM. We are in charge. More radio, 88.2 FM. We are in charge. More radio, 88.2